Hello there, welcome back. Now I'm going to look at Assassination Bureau, which is a film made by Basil Dearden late on his career. Stars Oliver Reed and Diana Rigg. It came out and didn't do very well. It was one of those films made when Reed was still fairly young in his career. Like he was one of those leading men in the making type of thing, where he'd done the Curse of the Werewolf, he'd done some other films, independent films, that had given good reviews. And he was obviously viewed as someone who would be something, but he hadn't actually stamped himself as lead man quite yet. And this film did not do great, and it was pretty much forgotten. It's not a film like the Three or Four Musketeers or Oliver or The Devils that are very well known as Oliver Reed's big hits as an actor. This one is like one of the forgotten ones. It's not really remembered that much for Diana Rigg either, because she's more remembered for the Avengers and the Secret Service things and the various later films and TV shows she did. So it's very much a kind of cult film for a very small audience. It also stars Telly Savalas in a supporting part, because Savalas was very good at popping out films. Like you feel sometimes he'd pop in for a couple of weeks of shooting, then make his money and then get back out again. Like I've seen God knows how many films with him popping in for like, you know, I know a third of the film, but he's spread out throughout it. So he's a very industrious actor. He's always welcome because he's always that kind of energy that just helps the film get moving. So basically, the plot is Dana Rigg plays this like a suffragette basically who wants to get ahead and as a journalist, which is a very male-dominated industry in the 19th century, and she's kind of it's coming from the 19th century to the 20th century. Sorry about that. And basically, she's trying to get ahead and prove that women can do something within journalism. And she basically barges her way into the offices of this one. They were trying to get funding to research the Assassination Bureau. Luckily for her, Telly Savalas plays the boss of the paper, and he's interested in this. And he gives her the funding to investigate the Assassination Bureau. The Assassination Bureau is run by Oliver Reed. It was started by his father, and his father taught him everything he knew, and now Reed is in charge of it. And the Assassination Bureau basically assassinate people for money, but are very professional. There's a really funny early section where you see how the assassination industry was before they got involved, where there's a lot of incompetent bungling and not the right people will never get killed. And now that they've got professionals doing it, if they can prove that this person deserves to die and they pay the fee, they'll kill them for whoever pays. But they do have a moral structure to it. When Reed actually manages to find a way to get into the offices of the Assassination Bureau by trying to arrange for them to assassinate someone for her, she goes through the process and eventually meets Reed, who is very charming. There was a rumor in the late 60s when Sean Connery left Bond that Reed was one of the people who they were looking at for the replacement. And you all thought, really? That seems weird. And you see this film and it's like, oh no, that doesn't seem good at all. He's very charming, he's very competent, he's very Bond while not being a Bond character. There's like a sense of this could be a very different Bond, very dangerous Bond, but different from Connery. And basically, Oliver and Dan Rigg are going to face off throughout the film as a kind of screwball romance situation. She hires the Assassination Bureau to assassinate Oliver Reed's character. And instead of saying, no, we're not doing that, he sees it as a challenge for his own people because he thinks they've gotten lazy and they've gotten corrupt. And he actually wants an excuse to get rid of some of them. So he says, okay, come and get me. But I'm going to get yous too. So I'm coming for you. So if you don't get me, I'll get yous. And it becomes this like episodic story where Jenny Rigg is fallen. The murders end up being with Oliver Reed through a lot of the adventures as well, as the various assassins try to kill him and he's killing them in response. And of course, they're all expecting certain different tactics from Reed, and he's always trying to fool them with other tactics they don't expect. So there's a back and forth, and there's a lot of improvisation because he has plans that go wrong, and he improvises in the huff hoof, to actually get ahead and succeed, even when things are going against him. So there's a real charm to this as you see him have things go wrong and then find another ingenious way to kill somebody. And it's all very dark humour because the jokes are about how these various assassins are assassinated. And the start where Diana Rigg's character is appalled by it all, but as she goes on, she starts to get into it, which is fun because Reed's very charming. He's enjoying watching her struggle morally with the questions, and he's a much more, because he grew up with this, he's a much more relaxed attitude. It's like, they're terrible people, you know, they're lazy, they're corrupt. Why you? And we're just getting rid of excess, basically. So he's no problem. He's very charming with it. And the film escalates, and as it goes on, you realise Taylor Savalas is also a member of the Assassination Bureau, and he's working all this out. He's sending Rigg after Reed to get rid of Reed, basically. So it's all three characters orbiting around each other, all with their various motivations, with Reed basically being like the Roadrunner, with all and another assassin's being Wile E. Coyote. And it's really fun. I mean, it's some people talking outside now. So it's really a lot of fun, and a lot of crazy stuff happens. A lot of insanity happens, and it's one of those things you don't want to ruin the surprise of some of the gags. I'm trying to explain it. It's a really old film. It's not a very well known film, but a lot of the humour and the charm comes from the actors playing off each other, and the characters try to get one up in each other and try to work out what the next plan is. Because it's always switching the plot around a little bit as it goes. It was based on a Jack London novel, which he never knew how to finish. So he got two-thirds of it, through two-thirds of it or more, and then it was abandoned, and then someone finished the novel off with an ending later on. And it's funny because the film, the ending, sort of the weakest part, but still a lot of fun. It's one of those ones that's like, yeah, the early stuff was much more enjoyable, but the ending's still pretty good. But it does feel like it's shoved on from another movie somewhere. But it still works well. I mean, it's still like very charming. There's a great punchline to the whole thing, and there's a lot of really fun character actors to see. I mean, it's because of Britain was a place where a lot of actors worked and a lot of production companies come in, so you can see it. You get people like George Sanders in the supporting part, but you also, get like Roger Delaney, who was the master in Doctor Who, as a bit part as well in the background for so many scenes. And it's like, if you get the master as one of the villains, and Taylor Savalas having a ball, being suave and cunning, you've got various really greedy people trying to murder everyone else. You've got lots and lots of cunning. You've got like wives who are trying to kill their husbands. You've got just full scale corruption in so many areas. And they're very blasé about it. And most of the joke is Dana Rigg's character realizing just how corrupt the world actually is and how outrageous it is. And it's all done with a cheek and a sense of, well, this is enjoyable. We'll get rid of these people. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it too much. It's just enjoyable. And the film just has that charm to it. And a lot of it really does come down to the actors. I mean, Reed and Diana Rigg are both perfect. They're both like slightly over the top, but only slightly. Reed's a bit more hammer than Reed and Diana Rigg is, but they're both playing it just a larger than life, just enough. Like Reed's character is more of a show off than her character is, so he gets a bit more to do in that area. But they give her a lot of stuff to do as well, with like, different bombs and things, and trying to improvise around like difficult situations. So it's a very enjoyable film, and the actors do seem to be enjoying themselves, knowing they're in a film that is like knowingly silly and understanding that the film is a certain kind of movie that they get. So it's one of those ones that's great for rediscovery because it's a lot better than it actually sounds. I mean, it's one of those ones it just look when you see the poster for it or the description, it just looks like one of those movies in the 60s that no one cared about. And then you watch it's like, oh, this is so much better than some of the films that actually are revered in the 60s. Like the entertainment value ones, like, like Butch Cassidy or something. I'd rather watch this than Butch Cassidy. And by the way, watch the one into the video on Butch Cassidy, both the original and the Richard Lester one. So go to his channel and watch that because it's a very good video. So yeah, Assassination Bureau is great fun. It's highly recommended. Just go see it. It's available on like iTunes and Amazon, so it's very easy to find. So you shouldn't have any problem finding it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll be back with the last one of this All I Read week, which I've saved the famous one for last. Bye for now.